It's now been 8 years since Pep Guardiola became Manchester City's new manager, and it's safe to say he's done a good job. He's won them countless league titles, their first ever Champions League, and also last year got the treble with them. But that got me curious, with all the glory that City have had with Guardiola, how would I do in charge of City? Well, today we're going to find out, as for the next 10 seasons I'm taking charge at Man City. The goal is to win them as many trophies as possible, continue their dominance in England, and ultimately make them Europe's most dominant club too. And by popular demand, the takeover wheel is once again back to make my life 1,000 times easy or a living hell. So here is the Manchester City team I've loaded into in season 1, and let's call a spade, guys. This squad is one of the best in the world. I mean, just look at some of the players they've got: Ruben Diaz, Rodri, Erling Haaland, and Kevin De Bruyne. Those 4 players alone could win you the Premier League. And they've also got some very good young talent like Julian Alvarez, like Jeremy Doku, and of course Phil Foden. And to top it off, overall the team isn't that old anyway. Out of the best players in the team, only one of them is over 30 years old, and that is Kevin De Bruyne, ladies and gents. And it gets even better, as we've got 246 million to spend in season 1. And as you guys can see from the leaderboard, it's been reset. This is a brand new series with the takeover wheel. So the big question is, guys, just how many trophies can we win with this Manchester City team? There's only one way to find out, guys. Let's kick in. Now, the first thing I'm doing is changing the formation to the 4-2-3-1 narrow formation. It kind of just makes sense because this fits the team the best out of all of them. As for the tactical vision, I was torn between tiki-taka and gegenpressing. Both I feel would suit Man City the best, but I feel like I'm going to put my spin on the City team and use the gegenpress with them. And after a little bit of meddling, this is by a mile the strongest starting 11 we could field with Manchester City prior to making any signings, that is anyway, and what a goddamn team it is. Now, we've established we've got a lot of money to spend, but we all know that doesn't mean a damn thing until we spun that takeover wheel. So let's go over to it and see what it's got in store for us in its absence. Now, I wish I could say I've missed the takeover wheel. However, after this spin, I don't think I'm going to. What new cheap owners? For the next 5 years, half your budget. You know what? Actually, that isn't that bad. I mean, we still got 123 million. That's not exactly a bad budget to kick things off with City, is it? Now, I would be inclined to replace Kyle Walker in that right back role, but I really want Rico Lewis to take his spot when Kyle Walker retires. And part of me wants Cancelo back at Manchester City. I mean, he's an absolutely phenomenal player, and after all, his beef wasn't with me, it's with Pep Guardiola, and he's not here anymore. But one way or the other, guys, we do need a left back, because as you can see, Gvardiol's playing there and he's completely out of position. So I spent 50 million on the dot on Alphonso Davies. He's only 22 years old, 82 overall. Give this guy a couple of seasons, he'll turn into one of the best fullbacks in the entire world. But now that the spending side of things is done, I am definitely going to be loaning a couple of players out, man. We've got so many youngsters in the team that right now don't fit into the starting 11, but a couple of seasons time they definitely will. Also behind the scenes, I've been training Bernardo Silva to become a central attacking midfielder, and he's going to go up to an 88 rated player. I mean, I thought for sure he was actually going to go up there. His stats do indicate he's a better card. But now that that's all done and dusted, guys, this is how we line up going into season 1 of this takeover with Man City. And let's be honest, guys, we should be winning everything in season 1, especially with the addition of Alphonso Davies, guys. I feel like in the long run he's going to be the game changer. But it's not a good start in season 1. We don't win the Premier League title. Liverpool do that by 4 points in the end. It looks like after all that's happened in real life, Jurgen Klopp eventually got his happy ending at Liverpool. But we did win the Community Shield, so we have won 1 trophy. But United beat us in the FA Cup final on penalties. God above, imagine if that happens in real life. We also got knocked out by the Bottle Jobs in the Carabao Cup. Season 1 isn't going as well as I thought it would, but we do bounce back by winning the double. But by knock us out in the round of 16 in the UCL, man, we got to be doing better than that, guys. That's not acceptable. I mean, look at the stats, for goodness sake. Haaland, Foden, Bernardo Silva, KDB, Grealish, all bagging goals left, right and centre. How haven't we won more than 2 trophies? I feel like we've massively underperformed this season, guys, and the worst thing is we've got that will to contend with every single season of this takeover, and who knows what it's going to throw at us in season 2. But before we find out, if you're enjoying this takeover so far, leave it a big old thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. I'm racing Raman to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot let him beat me. He would never let me live it down. So help a guy out, leave a like on this video if you're indeed enjoying it, and smash that subscribe button. Okay, guys, season number 2. What's this wheel got in store for us this time? 150. Oh god, what the hell's this? Them charges are finally caught up to you. Deduct 40 points at the end of this season. Oh my god, that is actually horrendous. Bro, 40 points. We're going to be lucky to survive the Prem, never mind do anything else. The good news, however, it didn't say anything about not making any signings, which means we've got just under 150 million to make sure that we can survive the Prem this year. And looking at this team, I'll be real, saying that out loud just seems so stupid, doesn't it? But that is the reality of our situation. Now, the first thing that comes to mind is bringing a right back in for Kyle Walker. I mean, he's 34 years old now. He is still 82 overall, but with what we've got to handle this year, I don't want to take that risk of leaving him in the starting 11. But we could replace him without spending a penny, guys. João Cancelo is back in the starting 11 from his loan move, and he's more than capable of going to the starting 11. My plan is still to make Rico Lewis that main man in the starting 11, but as you can see, guys, he's nowhere near ready for that just yet. And now that the right back situation is sorted out, the only other thing I can think of doing is replacing John Stone to that centre-back role, and this may not go down well with you Man City fans, but just hear me out. He's already 30 years old in Season 2 of this 10-season takeover. I feel like we get ahead of the curve and bring in a much better and much younger centre-back to go into his spot. And yes, we could bring Vardiol back into the starting 11, but as you can see, he's 2 ratings lower than Stones, and you've got to remember, we've got a 40-point deduction at the end of this year. We can't take any chances at all. So I spent 127.8 million on Alessandro Bastoni. He's only 25, 87 overall, and if anybody's going to help us survive this point deduction, it is going to be him. I just opened right there, guys, because we spent a lot of money on Alessandro Bastoni, and if we get relegated anyway, then it was just a pointless transfer. But I don't think you can say it's a pointless transfer because he's helped us win the Champions League with Manchester City. They're second in their club history. We've also won the FA Cup, so that's 2 trophies already. But Portsmouth knocked us out in the Carabao Cup. Even Manchester City, a team as good as them, cannot win the Carabao Cup easily, man. That just shows you how difficult this competition is. But it's the moment of truth, guys. How have we done in the Prem? Well, guys, without the point deduction, we are the best team in England this year, man. 15 points clear top of the table. Now, I haven't seen how the bottom half looks yet, but if it's been a tight relegation battle, then we could be screwed. But we've been dead lucky, guys. We are 10th in the Premier League, nowhere near the relegation zone. It looks like Bastoni's addition to the team really helped us out. And so did our front four, guys. Look at Erling Haaland, for God's sake, 41 goals in 58 games. That's tremendous. The best thing is as well, guys, majority of this team are still pretty young and growing quite well, as you can clearly see. Well, that's not the case for everybody, because KDB is going down in overall. He's 33 years old now, guys. We're going to have a maximum of 2 years left with this dude, so we got to make the most of it. But all things considered so far, guys, 4 trophies in 2 seasons isn't bad at all. I'm just hoping that in Season 3 we actually land on a good one, because that could change the trajectory of our future at Manchester City. Okay, guys, time to see if the 3rd time really is indeed a charm. Rewind time. This one looks promising. Make 3 players of your choice. 21 years old. That is actually amazing, guys. This is a game changer. I'm just looking at the oldest players in the team overall and trying to figure out who I want until Season 10 of this takeover, because realistically, guys, that's what the wheel's given us. But I think one play is obvious, guys. Kevin De Bruyne. This one is just simply a no-brainer. I don't even have to explain this. I think Edison's also a good shout, guys. We turn him into a 21-year-old again. We've got a world-class keeper until the very end of this takeover. I think Bernardo Silva's a shout too, guys. He's 30 years old now and 92 overall. We turn him into a 21-year-old again. Who knows how good he'll become? And there we go, guys. Edison, KDB, and Bernardo Silva are all once again 20 years old, man. I defo feel I've made the right 3 choices here. But that does leave us with more problems to solve, because we've got 136 million to spend, and honestly, we've got nowhere to spend it. I mean, this starting 11 is absolutely phenomenal, and unless that wheel has something to say about it, we can leave this alone for now. Maybe we could work on this bench though, because as you can see, we've got depth in pretty much every single position, but is it good enough for Manchester City standards? I don't think so. So I spent 18 million on Jordan Pickford to make him our second choice goalkeeper. And I spent 40.7 million on Tammy Abraham to make him our second choice striker too. And don't worry, I know we've got a lot of youngsters in the team, which is why a majority of them are going back out on loan for a couple of years this season. But now that we've increased the quality on our subs bench, and we've basically restarted Bernardo Silva's, Kevin De Bruyne's, and Edison's careers, I don't see any reason why we can't run absolutely riot in Season 3. And this is a very good start. We are Premier League champions in Season 3 by 10 points. Beautiful stuff. And had we not had that points deduction last year, we would have added the Community Shield to our trophy cabinet, but because we did, we aren't. And we can't add the FA Cup to our trophy cabinet either. And we can't add the Carabao Cup to it either. Oh my god, why can't we win any trophies with City of all teams? We can't even beat the bottle jobs. Are you taking the mick, man? This is a trophy we absolutely should have won. But we can beat Real Madrid to win the Champions League. So we've won the Premier League, we've won the Champions League, but lost every other competition. That just doesn't make any shred of sense, does it? Especially when you look at the stats, man. Haaland, Grealish, Foden, Bernardo Silva, and Kevin De Bruyne all bagging goals left, right, and centre. By the way, who do you reckon is going to be our top goal scorer and assister by the end of this takeover? I feel like Bernardo Silva is going to be our top assister, whilst of course Haaland will be our top goal scorer if we can keep him until season 10, that is. But one player we aren't keeping until season 10 is Kyle Walker. He didn't want his contract renewed, but to be fair, we don't need him now. He's 75 overall at 36 years old. He's had a cracking career, but we're saying goodbye to him at the start of season 4. And despite having a lot of bad stuff thrown at us over the course of the last 3 seasons, this team is genuinely looking absolutely world class. They just need to start winning trophies. That's the only thing this team is missing. But we all know that this wheel might have something to say about that. What is this? It's got a wheel's choice, so it's literally going to have something to say about that. Spin the wheel of leagues and only sign players from the league it lands on. This could go either really well or really goddamn badly. So whichever league this wheel lands on, we've got to buy a couple of players from it. Or we don't have to, but we can. We're going to be buying from the Serie A. That is a fantastic league to land on. The only real issue is, what positions do we buy for? Because as you can see, our squad depth is absolutely insane. And to be honest, so is the starting 11, so I'm really stuck on what to do here. Then again, we could see what right backs they've got, because João Cancelo is 32 years old now, and whilst he has something special, his age is definitely going to catch up with him either this season or next season. And as you can see, Rico Lewis is definitely not ready for that starting 11 role just yet. He's a good player, but he's not on Cancelo's level. And if we fail to find a better right back than Cancelo, we could also go for a better right winger than Jack Grealish. I mean, granted, he's only 30, he's 90 rated, however, in 2 or 3 years' time, that age of his is going to catch up with him too. So I reckon we throw this 186 million on either a right back or right winger, or honestly, both if we can afford it. And as luck would have it, I found a great right back to go for, Sacha Boey, who's a Lazio player, 25, 85 overall, and he won't cost us that much in the slightest. Unfortunately, I underestimated how much he'd actually cost us. We've just had to spend 59.3 million to make Sacha Boey a Man City player. That leaves us 118 million to bring in a winger. Now, I have found a winger, and luckily his contract's running out, but he's still going to be very goddamn expensive. You might have guessed who I'm talking about. Kvaratskhelia from Napoli. He's a left winger, 25 years old, 91 overall. If we can bring him to Manchester City, he'll be a game changer. Now, granted, his contract is running out, but I'm taking no chances. I'm going to offer Jack Grealish as part of this deal alongside 30 million. And they've accepted it first time. I'm not sure if they've overpaid, but we've just given them a 30-year-old in exchange for a 25-year-old who's way better than Jack Grealish. And there he is, guys, in the Manchester City shirt. Now, let's see how we do with Kvaratskhelia in our team now. So far, we're doing well with him in the team. We are once again the Premier League champions, this time by 2 points, just beating the bottle jobs to it. And we've won the Community Shield, so that's 2 trophies already. But the bottle jobs have won the FA Cup, so honestly, I don't even want to know where we finished. And Fulham beat us to win the Carabao Cup. That's just the icing on the cake, ain't it? We've also lost the Super Cup to the bottle jobs again. Are we the new bottle jobs right now at Manchester City? Is this what's happening here? And we also got knocked out in the quarters of the Champions League by Bayern Munich. Honestly, I don't know where we're going wrong with Manchester City. I mean, this team so far in this takeover hasn't won more than 2 trophies a season yet. I mean, how the hell is a team this good not winning at least a treble every single year? I mean, looking at the stats as well, Haaland, Foden, KDB, Bernardo Silva and Kvaratskhelia all banging goals in left, right and centre. How aren't we doing better? From now on, guys, we've got to start taking advantage of how good this team actually is. We all know that that wheel's capable of turning this team upside down just like that. So from now on, we've got to start winning trophies left, right and centre. So with that being said, guys, we return to the wheel for Season 5 and we landed on a bad one. Centurions, what's this? End this year with 100 or more points or release your highest rated player. Jesus Christ, that's not exactly a small thing to ask for, is it? Now, I've just checked, guys, we haven't hit 100 points, so that begs the question, what do we actually do to this team to make sure we do get 100 points or more? Because if we don't, we're losing Erling Haaland, who's our highest rated player by a country mile, 98 overall. We've got to get 100 points, man. We can't lose him. But the problem is we've got 148 million and nowhere to spend it. I mean, when you look at the bench, it's absolutely stacked all over the shop, and the starting 11 is literally no different, guys. Sacha Bowie's our weakest link in the starting 11, but he's 86 overall and he's 26 years old. We've got to give this guy time to cook. But we could bring João Cancelo back off his loan move. A few guys were wondering when this happened. It happened last year just to make sure that Sacha Bowie actually got game time, but with this at stake, I might bring him back. It'll only cost us 1.5 million, and honestly, I think that's a small price to pay for us getting 100 points this year. And despite the fact we've got 140 million, I don't think there's anything else I can spend this money on to get us ready to get 100 points this season. So I'm just going to leave it up to these guys to get the job done. After all, these are the Centurions. If anybody can do it, it is going to be these guys. But whether they have or they haven't, we have won the Community Shield, finally beating the bottle jobs. But Barnsley knocked us out of the FA Cup. Honestly, I'm not liking the way that Season 5 is looking already. And the bottle jobs have won the Carabao Cup, so I really don't care where we finish in this competition because it's just not good enough. And we got battered by Inter Milan in the round of 16 in the UCL. Oh my god, we've absolutely flunked Season 5, haven't we? There's no way we got 100 points. We've absolutely bottled it, guys. 12 points off 100 points. We might have won the Premier League, but we've lost Erling Haaland in the process. And we've not only lost Erling Haaland, we've lost our top goal scorer every single season from Season 1, guys. 32 goals, 3 assists in 49 games. It is going to be an absolute nightmare to replace him next year. And we've just passed the halfway point now. We've won 10 trophies with Manchester City, and honestly, that isn't good enough. I feel like we've got to get at least 15 trophies combined from now until the very end of this takeover. Otherwise, I feel like this has just been a massive L. But here we are, guys, in Season 6. And as you can see, Erling Haaland is indeed a free agent. But I'm just putting this out there. If in 2 or 3 seasons' time he's still a free agent, you better believe I'm bringing him back to Man City. Now, I'm looking at our highest rated players. And honestly, I'm amazed at how well we've coped with the age issue. Because quite frankly, guys, there's only 2 players above 30 years old in the entire starting 11. And with it being Season 6, we don't have to halve our budget anymore, which means we've got 311 million to spend, which is absolutely fantastic. But we haven't spun the wheel yet, and we all know that this might have something to say about that. Of course it lands on transfer ban. What else would it land on? Don't make a single signing this year. Yeah, I kind of got that, wheel, from the fact that you called it transfer ban. So it looks like this 311 million may as well be £0 because we can't spend a goddamn penny of it. I'm just hoping that these guys can pull some trophies out of the bag this year, man. I know we haven't got Haaland anymore, but the rest of the team is absolutely world class. There's absolutely no excuse this year why we can't start bagging trophies left, right and centre. But this is the worst possible start. We got grouped in a group alongside Monaco, Austrian Vienna and Feyenoord. How in God's carnation does that happen? I must be the worst Manchester City manager of all time, man. How the hell do we not get out of that group? We didn't even win the Europa League, man. This is just appalling all round, man. We're never going to crack 20 trophies, are we? But thankfully, we have won the Premier League once again. We've got no issues winning the Premier League title for some reason. It's just every other trophy we can't win. But we have just about won the Community Shield as well. 12-11 on penalties, but it doesn't matter because that's trophy number 2. And we finally won the FA Cup, guys, beating Fulham to do it. And more importantly, that's the treble. But Stevenage knocked us out in the Carabao Cup. Honestly, I just don't get Manchester City at this point. But from the start, I think it's very clear we're missing a certain Erling Haaland. Foden, Kvaratskhelia, KDB all did well banging goals left, right and centre, but Erling Haaland was definitely missed. I mean, Tammy Abraham is a good player, don't get me wrong, but it was an impossible task for him to fill in Erling Haaland's shoes, wasn't it? Let's be real. And looking at the age of some of our players now, we may have to start taking action on a couple, Rodri being one and Ruben Diaz being the other. I guess the only thing stopping us from doing that is the wheel next season. I'm just hoping we actually land on something good for a change. There's only one way to find out though. Let's spin it and see what we land on. We've actually landed on something good. Hard work pays off. The lads have worked hard in training. As a result of this, your starting 11 players all get a +3 in overall, but make no signings. You know what? I don't care about the signings. The +3, I'll definitely take that. I will definitely take that because look at the state of this this team now, everybody's had a +3 boost in their overall, and that has left this team with a couple of 99 rated players, for God's sake. And not only that, Edison's 98 rated, we've got a centre-back partnership 97 rated, Bernardo Silva and Kvaratskhelia are 98 rated too. Guys, it doesn't matter that we've got no transfers to make, this team should be winning everything. As it stands, we've got 13 trophies, as you can clearly see, but we've never had a better opportunity to go from 13 to 17, 18, or possibly 19 for that matter. And we're off to a good start to making that happen. We are once again the Premier League champions, this time by 20 points. We've also won the Community Shield, so that's the double. We've also won the FA Cup again, so that's the treble. And we've won the Carabao Cup. We finally got our hands on the quadruple. But it's not going to be 5 trophies, as Tottenham Hotspur have battered us in the UCL semi-finals. Oh my God, Sevilla, do us all a favour. Please don't let the Bottle Jobs win the Champions League. I don't want to live on this planet anymore. I don't want to live on the same planet as the one that Tottenham Hotspur are the best team in the world. It just doesn't sit right with me. I can't believe this team didn't beat the Bottle Jobs, man. What more do we have to do to make them better than Tottenham Hotspur? I mean, stats-wise, you can clearly see why we won the quadruple. Kvaratskhelia, Foden, Bernardo Silva, Tammy Abraham, KDB, all bagged goals left, right and centre and put a right shift in. But we got to keep this going now. The quadruple once is nice, but the quadruple 2 or 3 times in a row is even better, and that's exactly what I'm after with a Manchester City team as good as this. But let's see if the wheels can have something to say about that. Is it? I think it is, you know. Oh, what's this one? Give your 3 best players to Manchester United, Liverpool and Chelsea. You choose who goes where and make no signings. Oh my God. Just when we were starting to do well, man. Come on. So that means any 3 of the following players of Edison, Bernardo Silva, Kvaratskhelia or Phil Foden are going to Manchester United, Liverpool and Chelsea for absolutely nothing. But I'm going to do this differently. Whoever the wheel lands on is going to stay at the club, and it looks like Kvaratskhelia is staying at Manchester City. And that means, guys, Foden, Bernardo Silva and Edison, the original Manchester City players, are going to be joining Manchester United, Liverpool or Chelsea. And honestly, I've got no idea how I'm going to choose this. But I did eventually make my decision. Phil Foden went to Chelsea, Edison went to Liverpool and Bernardo Silva went to United. Honestly, they're all 99 rated players, so I don't think it mattered who went where, but regardless, guys, we've got to push on from this. Thankfully, we do have Pickford to go in goal, and the rest of the team has relatively managed to go unscathed. Alvarez has gone into that cam role, and Doku has gone into that left winger role too. But I think it's going to be intriguing to see how we do without our 3 best players, man, especially when they've gone to our biggest competitors in the Premier League. Well, guys, they're a noticeable loss. We've once again been grouped in the Champions League. Look at the group we were in as well. Group F alongside Real Betis, Sparta Praha and Rangers. How don't we make it out of this group? But we do actually win the Europa League this time, so there is a silver lining to this after all. And we've once again won the Premier League by 2 points this time, so that's the double straight away. And we've won the FA Community Shield. But we didn't win the FA Cup. Southampton made sure of that. But we have won the Carabao Cup, beating Newcastle on pens to do it, so even without our 3 highest rated players in the team, we still won the quadruple. And it's clear to see why, because some players really stepped up. Kvaratskhelia, Jeremy Doku, Tammy Abraham and KDB, even Julian Alvarez getting on the score sheet as well. Even with an aging Jordan Pickford, we still got a quadruple, man. What a season for Manchester City, arguably the most impressive one yet. But going into the last 2 seasons of this takeover, we do have a little bit of an age situation that we will have to sort out. But thankfully, the wheels only got good options on it, as you can see, so we should be able to sort this out, no problem. What is free pass? Do what you want. Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. We've got free reign in Season 9. And we've got an insane budget to work with, 683 million to spend, and honestly, I'm feeling a little bit nostalgic. I feel like I want to get the band back together. Starting with Erling Haaland, because as you can see, he's still a free agent somehow, but guess what, guys? That's not going to last like that for much longer, because there he is, back in the Manchester City shirt, wearing his old number 9. Welcome home, Erling Haaland. But I've run into a little problem. Obviously, I want to bring Bernardo Silva, Edison and Foden back, but I've forgotten these guys are all 99 overall and they're not going to be cheap. I mean, Bernardo Silva's worth between 470 and 370 million, and whilst we've got a lot of money, that's still a lot of goddamn money to spend on one player. However, Edison is worth between 300 and 230 million. That seems a little bit more reasonable. And Foden's worth almost the exact same as Edison, so instead of spending 400 million on Bernardo Silva, I'm going to spend around 500 to 600 million on Phil Foden and Edison. And just like that, guys, Edison and Phil Foden are back home at Manchester City for the combined total of £520.4 million. And just look at the state of this team now, ladies and gents. I'm telling you now, if we don't win every single trophy we're a part of this year, there is something wrong with FC24. And so far, there's nothing wrong with FC24 as we've once again won the Premier League. How many Premier League titles is that? Like 6 or 7 at this point? It's ridiculous. We've also got the double by winning the Community Shield. Made that the treble because we've won the FA Cup. But we haven't got the quadruple because United have knocked us out of the Carabao Cup. But we beat them to win the Champions League. Do you know what? They can knock us out of the Carabao Cup. We got the quadruple thanks to them. And just look at these stats, man. Look at Haaland, especially, back with a bang. 49 goal contributions in 58 games. He hasn't lost a step, has he? And as you can see, going into the final year of this takeover, we've got 25 trophies to our name. And if we play our card right next year, we could hit 30 trophies, and that would be a takeover record. And with the one thing left on the wheel being a very good thing, we might actually pull that off. It just depends what game changer is. Make a player of your choice, 99 rated, but don't make a signing. You know what, guys? We don't need to make a signing because I've already decided who I'm going to make 99 overall. You might have guessed it would be Rico Lewis. I really wanted to make him a part of this City team in the beginning. He didn't quite develop how I wanted him to, but now in the final year of this takeover, he's gained his chance in that starting 11. And just look at the starting 11 now, man. This has got to be by a mile the strongest team we've ended a takeover with, and it's not even close. It's just a question now, guys. Can Manchester City actually get 30 trophies, or are they just going to fall short of it? Well, in the final season of this takeover, we are the best team in England by a mile. 7 points clear, top of the table. That's trophy number 1 of 5 that we need. Make that trophy number 2 because we've won the Community Shield again. But Aston Villa knock us out of the semis of the FA Cup, so we may not actually get the 5 trophies we need to get 30 trophies. And Newcastle knocked us out of the Carabao Cup. Guys, the most we can get now is 29, but there's still a decent shot we can get that. And this proves it as we've just won the Super Cup, getting our 28th trophy in total. And we've absolutely bossed the UCL group stage, topping it with flying colours. And we've absolutely smashed Milan in the round of 16. And we've beaten PSG in the quarters. And we've battered Madrid in the semis. We've got to beat Juve in the UCL final to get 29 trophies in this takeover to set a record. And they've done it in style, ladies and gents. 4 trophies, the quadruple in the final season of this takeover. But when you look at the stats, you wouldn't think we've won the quadruple. Even Erling Haaland hasn't been his usual self. He hasn't even got 30 goals. But this is the Man City team we end this takeover with. And all I'm going to say is good luck to the rest of the teams competing with Man City, because this is going to be a very difficult team to beat. As we end this takeover with 29 trophies, with Haaland being our top goal scorer and Phil Foden being our top assister. And as you can see, that puts Man City top of the leaderboard. Good luck to the rest of the teams competing in this series, because that is not going to be an easy trophy count to beat. But that's where we're wrapping this takeover. If you've enjoyed this video, leave a like on it, smash that subscribe button. We're racing Rahman to 100k subs. Please don't let me lose to Rahman. He'll never let me live it down. And if you're still here, guys, you may as well click here to watch this video because it's a banger as well.